bringing up that. Well, enough of this phone
Yeah,
call.
yeah.
No, that weather thing.
The weather,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Because I
okay.
saw some post on
Yeah.
Dubai that they say they're electrifying the sky to bring
Well,
clumping
they
up
can
the
create
clouds.
rain
Yeah,
now.
that was pretty cool.
So yeah, let's
Dubai did that
Yeah,
just the
I
other
just
day.
said that.
Dubai.
I
Yeah.
just said that.
Let's make a
Did you?
Yes.
let's
Oh
make
my
a
God, I'm so
disclaimer. I'm gonna make a disclaimer here. We're just talking about different conspiracy
we're not
theories.
scientists.
These are not our thoughts and our opinions on them, and our
Well, some
true
of it is.
beliefs.
Some of it will be my
But
thoughts and
but going back to that, it's not hard to believe that one of the government militaries in the world, with all the technology we have, to shoot something up in the sky and create some type of atmospheric thing to create rain.
Yeah, like
it's really not that far fetched to believe. Now, as far as creating hurricanes and stuff, that seems a little bit more complicated. Maybe they could do that. Maybe they have stations at the North Pole and the Antarctica, doing something like that, manipulating weather. Now we're getting into it. But
You mean there could be like a mad scientist with this white hair and a big old lever?
I heard one of the conspiracy theories with the weather thing and with rain is I heard our military back in Vietnam used to create a bunch of rain over in Vietnam to keep the ground muddy, so that when they were walking in the jungle, it was a lot harder to get all over the place. But I don't know how much it rains in Vietnam. Maybe that was just bullshit conspiracy theory.
Well, don't they? I don't know. I do know that back in the day, and what I mean by back in the day, in the 50s and 60s, that yes, part of the government, I'm not sure if it was the military, but they would actually seed clouds, crystal, iodide, crystal, I believe, and they would actually make it rain.
Yeah.
But how much humidity would be in Dubai if it's one of the driest, countries because of desert? So I mean, how much humidity is in the air that you could throw shit out to where it's going to clump up some clouds?
Well, you just got to bring those ingredients together. So obviously they have the heat.
We're not chemists. We're not. Yeah, we don't really know that.
Well,
particulates. They got to shoot some type of particulates.
You would have to combine the ingredients such as water, meaning that if you have oxygen, you would have to have some hydrogen. Basically, when you combine those ingredients and let them bond, then you get water.
Because according to what I was reading, it was more of like the clouds were already there. They were just doing something to bring them. Make them fluffier, I guess.
So feeding them, seeding the clouds is what they call it. That's actually a thing that they can do.
Yeah.
Sometimes it has mixed results. Nothing catastrophic.
Goddamn chemtrails.
Yeah, I know they're everywhere and they're getting to you by
chemtrails.
Yeah.
That's another thing.
But yeah, no, it is possible. Definitely, and you can make it rain in that fashion. Now, are you going to produce the results that you want? That's kind of iffy. You don't know, but they can try, and so
we don't want another dust bowl.
Well, as far as like controlling the weather, that's hard. But heat plays into a lot of it.
I think it would be harder on a large scale, like you say, like or who knows? Maybe it's easier on the ocean since you got so much water.
True.
And humidity.
Back in the days, I say 50s and 60s, they thought, well, if we can seed hurricanes and make it basically play itself out in the middle of the ocean, that by the time that it reaches the shore, it wouldn't be as strong.
Mm-hmm.
Now that didn't actually pan out a whole lot.
It killed everybody in the
yeah, exactly. It's like, sorry, we just created Category 6.
Yeah.
So sorry. Or something like that. But they weren't quite sure. They even thought about what happens if you shoot a rocket or a missile into a tornado. Attempted, failed. It just these because you take a missile and it's just an explosion of heat. And
adding
so,
to the.
I would like to see that on video.
It's on
the. Could the missile?
You can look it up on YouTube actually. And so, I remember. Well, I don't know if it's actually on YouTube, but I'm assuming that it would be because I've seen footage of it, and they would try, and it wouldn't reach the tornado, depending on the type of tornado. But the footage that I saw, it didn't reach the tornado.
Yeah.
And so the idea is that they thought if they can zap this tornado with a lot of heat, then it could dissipate faster.
Yeah.
And so that didn't pan out as well. So they thought, well, instead of trying to affect the tornado physically, let's just put all of our eggs in trying to predict its how it forms, where it goes, and all that. So believe me, man has always wanted to control the weather.
Yeah.
Maybe one day they will.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah, or maybe they're doing it right now. We just don't know.
Man likes to control his environment.
So I'm gonna go ahead and put it out there. It's like maybe those 5G towers.
Oh yeah,
they don't have COVID in them.
They have.
That's how they're
seeds.
controlling the weather.
They have weather seeds.
Yeah, exactly. They have weather modification nets.
So yeah, you know where the term conspiracy theory comes from?
I do not.
So it was invented the first time it was used.
CIA.
It was by the CIA, and it was during when the Warren Commission came out, talking about the JFK assassination and how it went down. Anybody who went against that was deemed a conspiracy theorist. Basically. That's anybody who went against the Warren Commission on how JFK and Oswald was the only guy that did it, that only guy that pulled the trigger. Any investigators or individual, public entities that tried to investigate that, they would call them conspiracy theorists.
It's basically like if you know something, it's fake.
Yeah.
So that you don't question it. It's like, damn, they're onto us. Oh, he's just a theorist.
Yeah.
See, I would create a conspiracy theory just to throw people off.
Well, I think
so that way they don't find out that the
like Epstein.
Yeah. God.
We got
yeah.
that.
So gonna Epstein you.
And then you got Area 51. What are the other ones? Area 51.
Moon landing was one of the
moon
biggest.
landing.
I'm surprised that so many Americans.
Is the Earth flat?
Oh yeah, the flat earthers. Well, that's not really more a conspiracy theory. That's more of just people believing.
I wonder where they came up with that though.
The flat Earth theory.
Like who did just decide? Hey, you know what? Fuck it. Let's say it's flat.
I don't
know. Because that can be so easily proven.
Yeah.
It's like it's not flat anymore.
Loch Ness Monster.
Oh, that was pretty cool back. Yeah. That was pretty cool back.
It was a good one.
9/11, but we won't get into that one.
So I read one that was interesting. The company Mattress Firm, apparently they had a bunch of mattresses. Somebody mapped out how many mattress firms were in Chicago, and they had mattress firms like there was like a dozen within like a 2-mile radius, and apparently it was some type of money laundering scheme.
I'm shaking my head. Yes.
Have you heard about that one?
No, I haven't heard about that, but I do agree about how there's these mattress firms that are
everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
So
that was something in Chicago that somebody wrote an article about. I just kind of skimmed over it a little bit.
How do these people pay the rent in that facility? How many mattresses do they have to sell? This one individual store to cover the rent, cover the pay.
At $2,000 a mattress, I'd say
not
many.
Yeah, and then there'll be another store not even a few blocks away, and then another one a few blocks away, and another one a few blocks away.
A lot of people have sleeping problems, and with all those guns going off.
Yeah.
Because mattresses, there was a good 8 years, maybe. Is that how long you're supposed to keep a mattress?
I guess, yeah.
That's on a good mattress.
Oh, yeah.
A good one.
Mine has 12 years. 13. God, can you imagine all the dead skin cells?
And they get heavier over time too.
Yeah.
They get super heavy.
Parasites.
And you're sweating on it.
Yes, parasites are crawling.
Yeah, you're supposed to flip it like every other week or something like that.
Well, see, mine has a special layer on top, so if I flip it, it's not that special.
I rotate mine.
Okay, yeah, that's probably better. Yeah. I used to have a thermic. What do they call that? Tempur-Pedic.
Pillow top. It's got like a little pillow top on it. It's more plush. Then you got Bigfoot.
Oh, Bigfoot was cool. I like Harry and the Hendersons.
I do remember that. You're talking about the series or the movie?
The movie.
The movie.
I haven't watched that in a while.
Yeah,
I haven't watched that in a while.
That was really good. That had John Lithgow, didn't it? John Lithgow in it. That was actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
Bigfoot. I don't know.
What about those cave people?
Cave people?
Like in national parks, like cave people.
See, all this stuff is like
cannibals. They were cannibals back in the
Oh, I heard. There's people living out in Mexico in those hills in the mountains.
Kind of like the hills have eyes.
Yeah, the hill people. They live out there. There's hill people in Arkansas too. There's hill people that live off the grid, right? They don't want to be part of the society. They don't want to live under the rules and be taxed.
Well, then some places in Mexico just don't have that. Indoor plumbing.
Chupacabra.
Oh yeah, that was
nice.
That was kind of dumb.
That's fun.
Yeah,
I never really believed in that one. It was like
I just don't. Yeah, that's for me. But
It was more of a superstitious person thing, like
Yeah.
Have you guys
Like
looked up-
werewolf, like a werewolf.
Yeah,
or
Well,
something.
have you guys looked up Bigfoot like on YouTube
no.
video? Especially now that everybody has like a cell
Everybody
phone
has
camera.
Everybody has.
I mean,
But like Bigfoot.
you know, they had a whole TV program
Yeah.
and stuff on TV.
Oh, that weird that Bigfoot that's walking down.
No,
the,
I mean
the
they
river.
actually made
Remember
like
that
a
footage?
like A&E or the History Channel or one of those TV stations. They would have a series on finding Bigfoot, I think it was called, or some shit
I
like
think
that.
a lot of these too, like they're so into it that they convince themselves that it's real. Like when they always said, brought like experts, like, well, if you look at the way he's standing, there's no way that could be.
Well, it's
you
like,
know,
well, maybe
fake.
there is. Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
like-
The same thing with those paranormal
Yeah.
activity guys.
Yeah.
Those are funny. I used to get it. I only get into those around like Halloween just to get into the spirit.
Yeah.
I'll watch some of them.
I'll
The-
scare
it'll
myself.
show like the guy. He's like in a completely dark room. Then he starts yelling. The camera shakes a little bit, and then the next clip, he's like pulling up his shirt, and he's got like scratch marks
Yeah,
on his
exactly.
back. I'm like, come on, man.
But I make those marks on myself.
Yeah, when you itch.
when
When
I
you
itch,
itch,
and
you
I'm like,
scratch.
it's still there an hour later.
Now, would I spend a night in a abandoned hospital by myself? Fuck no, I wouldn't do
No,
that.
I
I
wouldn't
would
do
not
that
do
either.
that shit at all.
But the thing is that
That's-
I'll freak myself out at night watching them, but
Yeah.
then during the day, I'm like, what the fuck was I doing?
Well, that's what I tell people when they say, "Don't you believe in all that?" It's like it's more that I believe in it because that's how I grew up believing. Like people, they're superstitious.
Mm-hmm.
But if had I not been raised in a place where they believe it, I would have just been like, "Who cares?"
I mean, I do. I
Yeah.
believe in spirits and things like that, but I mean,
But yeah,
there could be something to it. I mean, if you go to an old hospital ward that was built in the 20s and 30s,
You're gonna
and the
hear
way they
screams.
used to, because I used to live in a neighborhood up in Chicago. There used to be a huge property up there where it used to be a mental asylum back in the 20s, 30s,
Just thinking
40s.
about it is creepy.
And back then they used to like
Do
I
that.
mean shock therapy shit to get these people back
Yeah.
to being normal. They used to treat them
The
bad.
conditions were
They
bad.
would beat.
But you know that
They're saying there's unmarked graves on that property. They don't know. You
the
know?
one that was crazy was they used to do that phlebotomy thing where they stab your eyeball
the
and separate
lobotomy.
the lobotomy, where they separate your frontal lobe from your.
Yeah, they go
And
through
they-
your nose.
Yeah, no, they were going through right here, I think.
Oh, they can go through your. Oh,
But
yeah.
they were putting that pick on your eye
Ugh.
and then
Yeah.
hammering it in there. But it's funny because they were like, "Oh, see, we calmed him down." It's like, well, yeah, you fucking separated
Yeah.
his brain.
Well, you know what? What was
His thought
interesting?
process.
That's horrible.
The doctor that did that.
Won a Nobel Prize.
No. It was actually pretty recent, like in the 50s. Or,
Yeah,
I mean,
it was the
60s.
last time they did it in the 50s. Yeah, that's
No, in the
that's-
70s was the last time
Oh,
that they did
70s.
it. Yeah, but the thing is that got phased out
And now they just
because pharmaceuticals started developing pills that started doing the same effect.
Well,
Now
it's
it's a
better than
billion-dollar industry.
Yeah,
the
and
pills.
so instead of doing this medical procedure of doing that, they said they just take a pill and they're fine.
That's kind of like the equivalent of the weather control. Like, we're not there yet. This how
Yeah.
bad it was, and then it gets better and better over time. Or I don't know if better, but
I
Yeah.
easier.
I think about weather control a lot because I'm like thinking, how would I do it? No, seriously, because I'm very into the weather.
Mhm.
I subscribe to this radar system, this nationwide radar system.
Later, it's gonna be like send an email to your DA so they can put some rain if you feel like a
Right.
drought is coming or something.
Well, the thing is that it is, because heat is
Hot.
what causes. Yeah, it is hot too. Yeah, don't touch. No, don't
But
touch.
what is it? Heat is what?
But heat is what makes weather go. Is that it's what makes it move forward? Is what gives energy. Is heat. So without it, then it affects weather everywhere. And with it, with too much of it, it affects weather in a different way. It's almost like climate change. But the idea
That's not real.
is that right? But where you concentrate that heat in one area will affect a
Another
different area.
Yeah.
Exactly. So so that's why right now this whole week we're gonna get temperatures in 100 degrees.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's
Which
gonna
is
be like
kind of
a
late
month.
in the season, but it's August. That's about right.
Yeah. And so what's gonna happen is that this is going to affect the temperature last week or the couple of weeks ago where Seattle and that area was like experiencing.
Yeah, they're
like,
getting
Heat
hot.
waves, and they're in the 80s. Like, fuck, that's great
No,
for
dude,
us.
they were getting.
No,
like
they're
about
like
115.
115. Yeah, they're
Oh,
up
really?
there.
Yeah,
They're up
dude. I
there.
think the hottest that's been here in Dallas is about.
You know, they're probably doing it
114.
on purpose so they could say, "See, we told you climate change was real."
Yeah, they
but
were
it's
doing
really
it.
them.
Right,
It's really them fucking
some
around.
Jewish scientist,
Yeah, German, Jewish.
yeah, out there that's saying that let's pump up the heat. You
Yeah,
know,
and tell them it's it's that's why they
climate
made it really
change.
cold in winter
Mhm.
Yeah.
because they gotta work. It's gotta
yeah,
work
it's
both
the
ways.
polar opposite, huh?
So
Mhm.
20 years ago,
'Cause they
thinking
s-
about this stuff, it'd be like, okay, far-fetched, you can't really put that together in your head. But when you think about it today, it's not far-fetched. You don't know what all these satellites up in the,
I've
stratosphere,
seen Marvel
atmosphere.
No, but you know
Yeah.
it's crazy how many there are when you look at the map and then the picture of the not a picture, but if you
Mhm.
there's this website where you can see how many satellites are up there, and it's like, yeah, it's a
Yeah.
bunch of
Mhm.
space debris, and it's a lot of shit.
And you got different countries doing their own
Mhm.
thing. They don't need to tell us what they're doing. Space
Yeah.
is not owned by anybody. It's
Yeah,
not
we
governed
got-
by
until we get the
anybody.
Space Force, we
Yeah,
would have been owning
yeah.
it.
Space
Yeah,
Force.
man.
I saw. I.
beaming people up there.
You know what? I saw that the official flag when I went to
Oh,
South
really?
Carolina and I visited the aircraft carrier. That they had the official Space Force flag flying.
You're like, well,
Like,
that looks
somebody-
like Star Trek.
Well,
It's part of the It is. It's
It
a
is.
Star Trek
Yeah.
symbol.
I was reading an article where it says, where they were talking about how Space Force is like it's just stupid. But then they also had an article when I forgot who it was, but when they first came up with the Air Force,
Mhm.
because back in the day the military was like, that's stupid. What do you mean Air Force?
Yeah.
Whereas now, 100 years later, you got jets, fighter jets, so now there's the Air Force. So I wonder if that's something that'll play
Well,
out in the future.
Well,
as
I don't
far
know
as,
what
like,
the Space Force is going to do right now. 'cause-
Definitely.
well, no, maybe not now, but the Air Force didn't do much before airplanes.
and I'm not opposed
And now,
to.
and now everybody's trying to go to space.
I'm not.
Although they're-
Yeah, I know, right?
So
We should
who's-
go.
So who says in 100 years it's gonna be
Laser
Oh, man,
yeah.
beams.
Laser
$400
beam.
bucks for a round trip so you can feel weightlessness and come back down if you
Not
make it
bad.
back down.
We have Dr. Evil.
Yeah.
Hell, that'd be perfect.
Well, we've had laser capabilities since I think World War II. Probably Hitler developed the first laser. I think.
Germans are
I'm not
pretty bright.
sure. They're very
Yeah,
smart.
they are.
Yeah.
I mean, we took
And
we
they're tough,
took
too.
in
They
a
were-
lot of their
yeah, most of them.
scientists.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we took in a lot of their scientists, and so you mix that with microwave capability, like heat sourcing. You got lasers, heat sourcing. You could hook that up to a satellite and put it up in the atmosphere.
We will melt the polar ice.
I wonder
cap.
what
Shoot
happens if you make a
lasers.
big microwave and you jump in and do you blow up like a
Mhm.
sausage? Oh.
Yeah, they got the. Have
Oh,
you
okay.
seen? Have you
Yeah,
seen this?
yeah.
Have you seen this weapon the military has? It's like real loud noise,
Oh,
but
yeah.
it's only in like when it's pointed at something. Like if you're on the side of it, you can't hear nothing. You can't hear nothing. But if they point it at you, it's just
You can use
it'll-
it as
is
a
it-
deterrent.
so
yeah,
is it that-
blow your ear drums.
So is it that one of those like where it's sound waves that you can't hear that make you nauseous and throw up and all
So-
that? Because,
probably.
That's actually similar. That can
Different
there are ways of doing
frequencies.
it. They have
yeah, frequencies.
there are deterrents in Europe. You know how you have like young, scary teenagers like gathering in one area.
Yeah, you mean
You know,
protesters?
loitering. I miss you, Luke.
Rioters.
No, anyway. But they're like
peaceful
loitering.
riots.
They have like
Yeah.
no, we're just talking about like regular
So anyway, and then what?
loitering. So they have these devices that emit these annoying sounds, these frequencies
Yeah.
that you really
I wonder if these
Don't-
help.
maybe I don't know, but only certain people a certain age can hear them because once you get older,
Interesting.
you can't hear these frequencies anymore.
Yeah.
So it works in deterring teenagers from certain areas.
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
know why I feel nauseous and sick and I've been throwing up. It's really that
But
shit.
it's really that shit.
Yeah.
Again, those 5G towers, man, they really
Yeah.
do a lot.
Yeah.
you know. But they detour teenagers, and it works.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh,
but
it
the
does work?
Yeah, but the adults don't notice this because they can't hear it.
Yeah.
You know. But this has been done in Europe for years
I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
now. But they don't do it here in the United States. They should. Pesky
They should.
teenagers.
Just put out free Chipotle. No one,
Right.
no one would riot anymore.
Oh, they should just do like a handgun version of it. You can use on your teenager.
Yeah, like that Minority Report when you go boom and it blows them away, but it's just like a sound wave.
Oh.
You know, remember that?
Yeah. That's actually not a bad idea.
But I think that takes a lot.
Fun stuff.
I'll remember it later.
That's futuristic stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
We have
Well,
come
the
a long
future
way
is
from the
now.
wooden club.
The future is now. You
Now
know?
they're metal clubs.
Yeah.
Can you imagine a gun without some sort of firing propulsion item, like a gun without a bullet, just like what you just told me about the
Yeah.
cell? You know, what the future
Star Trek.
of that would
I
be.
mean, phasers set to stun.
Yeah, exactly, or to kill.
Yeah.
One of those two. You know.
But then if it's a frequency, because it's a laser beam, then you can come up with an anti-frequency and make a shield, and then you get shields. Shields
just
up.
like they make ballistic vests. and
Yeah,
stuff.
that's
A lot of those peaceful protesters were shooting the SWAT members with high-powered lasers
Oh, really?
and like blinding them. Yeah,
Oh, shit.
they're blinding some of them.
Hot enough to burn, like that kind of.
Well, just if
I
you
want-
shoot a laser in your eye,
Yeah,
you
it's
can go
already bad.
blind.
Yeah, but I wonder if they
But they were getting more.
high-
Yeah, they were getting tactical ones.
Have you guys seen? I don't know if it's on, but I've seen them on Facebook, and I tried
Yeah, the
ordering
ones
it.
you like put it on a balloon and it pops it. and all
Yeah,
that
or
shit. I
they have
wonder-
like a piece of paper and the laser, and it
Yeah,
sets
and it
it on
makes a
fire.
hole.
I don't know if that's true or not.
I don't know.
And then when I went
But
to
I
buy
wanna-
one, I didn't trust the website. I'm like, oh, it's never gonna show up.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Remember when laser pointers first came out?
Yeah,
they
they
used
were
to
fun.
sell them with kits that you could have different designs on
Yeah.
the walls
Yeah.
and shit. Then kids started bringing them to school
Yeah.
and then shining them in the teacher's eye, and it's like, oh shit, it's all.
Who's got that? Yeah, I used to have one.
Now they're like $4, $3.
Yeah, you
or
can get 'em
something. Before
everywhere.
they were like 20.
It used to be great. I used to have a little cat or anybody's cat. You would shine it on the floor,
Oh,
and they
yeah,
just
they're
go
like
fucking
yeah.
nuts on the
Trying
wall.
to catch it, jumping.
No, my cat was lazy. He just lay there and just reach for it. He wouldn't get up.
Just look at it,
Yeah, he's like.
But those were pretty fun.
Garfield.
Yeah, but what about conspiracy? Oh
Oh,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
it.
What else we went to Bigfoot. What else?
Well,
we did?
Loch
Loch Ness.
What I was talking about was the.
Clinton assassination.
JFK.
Yeah, no, well.
Watch out, this house gonna blow up one day. That house just went up in flames one day.
Oh, that's not gonna be funny.
Not for us.
Yeah, no, yeah, I know, right? Or for some
Because
reason.
nobody's gonna be able to question it unless they have these recordings. They're gonna, oh shit, they talked about that.
I better
you know,
upload this
and then-
episode quick.
Yeah.
No, but I said the disclaimer in the beginning. We're good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
okay.
Well,
we
that's
don't
also
believe it.
true.
Yeah.
This
yeah.
is all
so
work
they can,
of
yeah.
fiction,
As long as you say you don't believe in it, you
Yeah, I
can
don't
still
believe
talk
it.
about it.
unless they just cut us
I
off.
do not own the rights to this. You know how
They
put
cut
it.
us off completely, and they say, "Please stay tuned for an
Yeah.
episode of Charles in Charge."
And throw in some 50s.
What are some other ones?
Charles.
Well, the moon landing is what one that I
Hey,
wanted
so-
to point out. A lot of
okay.
people.
So what's up with those pictures where you can't see stars? Is it the vacuum of space that keeps the stars from shining when you're in space?
What?
'Cause you know you always see the pictures, or is it that when you always see pictures of Earth and then you got all these stars looking badass?
Well,
But
Earth's
then-
too bright. I think when you're trying to take a picture of Earth from space, I think Earth illuminates too much for you to see the background
Oh,
of
that's
it.
why it's always black in pictures.
I would assume.
But then also,
I don't know.
You don't have perfect photography cameras in space. Either.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Obviously, with those millions that they spend, where they
Well,
have a
Well,
Polaroid.
It depends.
These are
Okay,
all
so
assumptions.
Yeah.
Some cameras, are we talking about the
Well, I mean,
telescopes?
you
or
already
we're
know.
talking about?
We already know that it's Photoshop to some extent, because if you really were to see a picture from space, it's not going to look all marvelous with all these glowing, nice.
Some
you know,
of
that's
those
got to
are-
make it intriguing.
Some of those are infrared cameras.
Yeah,
so
that.
we can't see it.
That's what I'm
So,
saying.
yeah.
So it's because when people talk about this, they think that the picture they saw with all these lighting and all that, they think that's what it's going to look when you're outside. Like,
Yeah.
it's not going to look like that.
And so when you look up into space with
Your
a
eyeballs
regular
can only
camera,
see so much.
you're not. Our perception isn't there. But then, and especially since we're covered with our galaxy is covered with like a cloudy haze in a
Mhm.
way.
And the Earth
gas.
is with atmosphere.
Atmosphere. We have an
Yeah.
atmosphere. Yeah.
And so, if you take a picture with it, it's always going to be distorted, especially when you're down here on Earth. You get a much more clearer picture in space. But even sometimes that's not enough. So you'll take infrared camera.
Yeah,
Which
and
can
to get that
can-
lighting.
Right, and so it can detect. It's like having night vision in
Mhm.
a way.
Yeah,
And
that's
so
what I'm
that way
saying.
you can see.
Yeah.
That's what
Plus,
I'm
we
saying.
don't know how light presents itself in space, right? Light.
because we got
It's
that
the-
blue.
it's the same
well, we got the
principle.
atmosphere making.
But when you look at space and stuff from here on Earth, it's like looking through
a lot
water.
of glasses. You know.
Yeah,
before you-
exactly. So you get like a
That's-
lot of distortion because of our atmosphere,
Mhm.
even at night. But and so that's how come the most powerful telescopes, even here on Earth, can't get it right.
Mhm.
That's why you throw the Hubble.
Right. So then we have that's why you throw the Hubble
Out
into
there.
space, and so you have this
But that's what I'm saying, because when you take a picture out there, you're taking it with all these frequencies, so you get the green, the blue, the pink, and all this other bullshit, and the stars, and you mix it all together, and it looks really nice.
Well,
But then you look at it, with your own eyes, and everybody's like, "Oh, that's fucking fake," because all I see is dots.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, because you can't see what it ultraviolet and all those
the
other.
multi-spectrum cameras that they have
Mhm.
that they use and satellites that they use. It's
Mhm.
like how do you know that the universe is what it is if we're just looking at it, like
Mhm.
in essence, like we're lying down.
Yeah.
And so the idea is when you send out these satellites and whatever, there's so much math involved
Yeah.
that helps paint this picture
Mhm.
of what the universe looks like, or at least our galaxy, what it looks like.
Yeah.
And so we can look way out there in the middle of nowhere and see what it looks like, but it's hard to tell what our own backyard looks like because again, we're kind of looking at it from a lying down perspective. But that's why we have like all these special devices. This is why we send all these devices into space to help us paint a better picture of it. So again, a lot of the pictures that we see are brightened, quote, photoshopped to help paint a better picture of what's out there, meaning that certain gases come back at certain colors.
Mhm.
And it's not because that particular gas is that particular color, but that's just how it's represented when we get the information back. And so, because you can't see gas just in the middle of,
Yeah.
but you can see it from a different, what's the word? Because
A prism.
for spectrum. You can see it from a different spectrum.
Prism.
Yeah.
Mhm.
and
What
so-
sucks is that the life, our lives compared to the life or the time
Yeah.
with all this taking place is so short because we're never gonna see anything.
Right. There's a lot of
You
stuff that
Well, no, I mean, as far as getting out to whenever people make it to wherever they're
That's
going,
what
Mars
bugs
and
me.
Yeah, it's like fuck, like I'm not gonna be around when people
like I
get to
really want
Mars
to see what's
all
going on in these other places.
Yeah.
Actually, we might be around when somebody gets to Mars, but you never
Right,
know.
Yeah,
Mars is old.
But-
Man,
It's old.
I'm talking about Mars.
the
Yeah, we're not
Yeah.
gonna get. You mean out of our galaxy,
Yeah,
or even
absolutely.
just the Saturn? I
Yeah.
mean, we.
yeah, somewhere where you can say like, hey man, I'll be back. I'm gonna go to or Mars today. I'll be back
some
next
some
weekend.
people look at the pictures on Mars and they say, "Hey, this is a face. Look at that," or "This is a structure.
Yeah.
That's a structure right there." But and it looks like a structure when you look at it from these pictures of Mars from far away. But what people don't realize is that structure is about as big as Mount Everest.
Mhm.
Like these aren't like small
Yeah.
man-made or Martian-made
Mm.
structures. I mean, these things from far away, sure, it looks like a face. From far away, it looks like that.
Well, it's like when you look at a cloud, it looks like a dinosaur.
Well, how
Yeah,
do you,
exactly.
how do you
Same
think
thing.
the
Somebody made it like
the
that.
astrologists back in the people who first invented like telescopes or started looking up into space, they're the ones they never got to see much. They never got to see a picture or nothing. I appreciate when we have a super moon and you can see the moon nice and big at night.
Yeah.
I love looking at that thing.
What I always thought was cool that I had never seen till like when you had an eclipse, I think last year sometime, was you can use your welding craft to
Oh,
look
yeah,
at it,
yeah,
and
yeah.
you can see the sun or
Yeah.
the moon going across the sun and moving out. It's like, man, that's pretty badass.
had
I
a
wish I
bi-
had something stronger to see this.
I had to buy like a special cover for one of my
It was your 3D glasses
my
for your
lenses.
shit.
no one of my camera lenses. It was a zoom in lens, and I had to order the special cover.
Fry your eye.
Well, when you look at it, you can't see through it, and I put it against my eye. And I looked up at the sun. I could barely see through it. But then I'm like, how is this gonna work over my?
Yeah, but
Lens.
that's pretty bright. So
Yeah. So then when I put it over my lens, sure enough, I could see the eclipse, and I just did a time lapse
yeah,
video of it.
and it's
Then you
neat
took
the
your
way-
glasses off and you were blind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah.
Well, I didn't look at it.
Burned
Yeah,
retina.
but I mean, all that's cool. Like when you go out in the desert, I like that you can see the Milky Way going across.
Yeah.
I don't know, like just the brightness of the stars.
Yeah, when you get
I
away
don't
from
know
the
if it's Milky
city-
Way, but it's nice.
Yeah, when you get away from the city, like you're in your West Texas or something, and there's nothing around,
Mhm. Yeah,
it's
that's
fun.
what I mean by that.
The sky is beautiful, man.
Like,
The
Yeah,
sky
it
is
It's
beautiful.
nice at night, clear skies.
You can see some shooting stars.
That's what's and there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
People don't like here. We see maybe once in a blue moon, but out there it's like, what the fuck? They're
Hundreds.
shooting everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
surprised we're not bombarded by them yet. Major extinction.
Yeah.
But yeah, it sucks that there's so much out there and we won't be around to see any of it.
It does.
We'll
Yeah.
see.
It's pretty
Or
depressing.
who knows? Maybe you die and you come back as that's an asteroid or some shit.
As an actual.
Area 51. What do you think about Area 51?
Yeah.
Places like Area 51.
I heard recently that it's just a ploy. They moved the actual Area 51 way more north of it into the more of the
Area
mountains.
54.
Yeah, there's a different Area 51 now because everybody knows about that one. It's still there.
Yeah.
But they moved all the secret stuff. I guess they got tunnels or whatever, underground tunnels.
I heard Amazon
to a more
That's another-
Amazon bottom out.
That's
Yeah,
an
there you go.
Amazon fulfillment center.
Yeah.
It's a new fulfillment center.
Yeah,
That's
that's
what
where
I
they
heard.
get their. What is that? That fucking fast plane. That's how you get your shit the same way.
Exactly. That
Yeah.
stealth whatever plane thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
No.
Yeah, but I don't. Yeah,
I'm not a bit. I think I believe in more aliens than I do ghosts.
I don't think I believe in.
What
either
about
one.
Canada? What about
It's still there.
What about shit that is hidden up in Canada and
No,
their
but
mountains
what
and
about
shit?
are we not allowed to go to Antarctica? I don't know where I was reading this. That technically it's like government. Like
I mean, how can you get there?
On
Yeah,
a
fuck,
barge,
I don't
guess.
know. I'm sure people can get there.
You
but I was reading
gotta
somewhere
go
where-
to the very south point of South America, I think, right?
Or South Africa.
No, well, it's not.
Is it Africa or
isn't
South
it-
America where
isn't
you
it
can
the-
get to it?
I think
Isn't it
South
just
America.
above us, above Canada? That's the North
No, that's
Pole.
the Antarctic.
That's Antarctica.
Yeah.
That's the Antarctic.
Yeah.
So what did I say?
Antarctica is the South Pole.
Are you
Oh,
talking
okay,
about the
okay.
south or the north?
No, I guess I don't know. One
There's
of those.
things going on in the south and the north, but
Yeah, no, but somewhere somebody made a little meme where
Their
about
windmills
their
work.
peng-
the
penguins.
conspiracy theorists that
Wind
read
turbine.
like, why can't we go to out there?
Well,
So I didn't know if it was true or not. Like who was claiming that?
well,
land.
I think more people go to the Arctic up north than they do.
Well, it's closer
Yeah.
to a lot of landmass.
Well, because it's all connected.
yeah, that's the Bering Strait, isn't it?
You can get up there more, yeah.
But in Antarctica, I know it can be very difficult to get down there. I mean, not personally, but what I've heard.
It's cool those videos they post on where the guys are out there in their little, like in their little housing that they have out there to
Oh,
do
yeah,
that, and then
yeah,
they
yeah.
walk outside and it's like.
Well, the people
Like, real
who
loud
made the
and-
documentary, the series Planet Earth, they were in Antarctica. They were shooting the penguins, video of the penguins and stuff. So they were able to go. That's gotta suck.
You can go to Google Earth and see like a real small little port town.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they do.
They got
That's
little
cool.
trailer houses, but there's
Mhm.
not really there's no civilization living there.
Yeah, there's nothing. I mean, goddamn. There's-
But they're saying that,
Sounds like a place you'd want to live. It wasn't.
the conspiracy is there used to be a civilization there, and now it's under ice caps and
Yeah.
stuff like that, buried in there. And what's under the ice there? You don't know. We haven't
Yes.
really drilled there. Maybe other governments have, but we don't know that information.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say we send K-Rod down there to find it.
With his motorcycle.
His
his
motorcycle. Hey guys, what's going
Yeah,
on?
it's I don't know. It's pretty crazy.
What else is out there? I don't know. Like how they built the pyramids.
Bermuda
A lot of things. A lot of
yeah.
people think that they couldn't have possibly moved those blocks.
I think that's
or-
bullshit.
I think
I
if you
always
have
thought that
enough
was bullshit.
slaves,
If you have enough slaves, you
yeah,
can do anything,
I
right?
think so.
you can move mountains.
I mean, that's what I always say. Is like, I mean, how do you?
But then
I mean, built all these
but they
fucking
also
buildings.
talk about some of these structures they see overseas in like Europe or in the Middle East or like in Persia where the Persian Empire used to be, is like, how did they have the tools to make this stonework precise to fit blocks and
Well,
have
it's
blocks lock into
But
them?
it's just like when you watch those movies that are what is it that steampunk kind of stuff,
Hmm.
where they got it's so futuristic, but they're still using like stupid clocks or like
Yeah.
wooden ships and shit.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that. It's just a time back then, but that doesn't mean they were stupid just because it was 2,000 years ago. or
Oh,
whatever.
well.
The thing, obviously,
know,
it just took time, and they had the
it-
manpower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like now you got more technology, so we'll probably look stupid to the next civilization.
Well, they had. I watched this. Wow, K-Rod definitely not here. I watched this PBS documentary, guys, of how they would move the Easter Island heads.
Hmm.
How did they move them into place?
Well, I thought there was a big old statue underground when they dug.
Well,
it.
like they're half buried, right?
yeah.
no, this wasn't a whole complete. There was a head that they were moving.
Mm.
I don't know about the statues underground.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's
Supposedly,
true
it's like you dig it down and it's like a body or half a body, like to the torso.
Yeah, I heard something like that
I
too.
don't
or not. But I haven't seen.
But they
anything
didn't
like
even
that.
dug it up.
I've seen the internet meme about it,
Oh, okay.
but I haven't.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true or not. Do
So
you?
it's a conspiracy
Maybe it is.
theory.
Mhm.
But they were showing how they were moving it. How people would have moved it back then, and they were basically just teetering it into
Yeah.
place.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
so
it's
they
like
had
those-
ropes.
It's like those pyramids where they put a bunch of logs. They say with those big old stones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And they
you-
put logs
That's
and
still
just kind of
fucking
rolled
heavy.
it.
That's
You
still
roll
fucking
it.
heavy. I don't care
Yeah,
how
it
many
is.
logs you use. You know.
Well, I mean, they had mammoths, didn't they?
I mean, we
that's
do.
what I saw in the year
We used to
9000
do.
BC.
We used to do
Yeah.
some of that makeshift stuff in landscaping when we had to move a big 50-gallon tree or.
Yeah.
How are we gonna get it from the trailer up this hill to somebody's backyard? We have to makeshift
These
shit.
stones were like
roll it
10,000 pounds.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
like
Well, they had
And,
5,000 slaves, so
I know that, but then their kids
Had
don't
100
wanna-
pounds of slaves. You do the math.
Yeah.
That's about right.
Their kids don't want to go out there and help because they're inside.
Yeah, they're playing video games,
Yeah.
playing
like
video
board games.
Yeah,
there
Like,
was
I
no
wanna-
Twitch back then.
I want to draw on the wall, Dad.
There was no Google
One
back
day
then.
people are gonna see these cows.
Right.
All you had to do was work.
Mhm.
Yeah. No, but I don't know. This I guess I don't believe in it, but I could see how the inspiration can come from a different source.
Well, the other thing
You
is,
know?
everybody's got the same pyramids. You got Mexico,
Yeah.
Egypt. So it has
And
to
they
be.
didn't talk to each other.
Well, who
Yeah.
says who? That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sure they traveled back then, and somebody, because you've got.
But then again, math, if you go
Logically,
back to mathematics, is a universal language.
you're gonna have.
So
a heavier
any
base.
sophisticated civilization that gets to the point of understanding math, which math comes from, I think, Persians or the Persian Empire or the Middle East, those people are credited for creating mathematics and stuff like that.
Yeah, but all it takes
And,
is a couple of people from one continent to travel to the other, and then they from there, and then so.
Well,
I
a
mean,
pyramid's a triangle, and then
Mhm.
if you know anything with geometry and stuff like that, they'll get to that. You'll figure out a way to build, but why would it be like a temple to them, right? Usually all those pyramids have something to do with their religion
Mhm.
or some of their faith and their belief or something, right? And that's across all the civilizations,
That's what
it
I'm
seems
saying. It's
like.
I think that at some point everybody kind of knew
like
each
they
other.
traveled and
Yeah,
saw.
just kind of like
Yeah.
our most recent was Christopher Columbus. He's like, oh, I discovered America when people had already been here, but kind of the same way, but
Found
maybe a long time ago.
Yeah.
So
Well, because pyramids would be the logical step, right? Because if you move these heavy stones into place, they don't want to carry more heavy stones up. So it's less and
Yeah.
less until they get to a point.
that's just one stone.
Right.
This
Where
seems
finally
good enough.
That one guy's like, I got the cap. Ugh,
Yeah.
just puts it right on top.
Good job. Here's your
Yeah, exactly.
couple
Like,
grams of salt for your day's
Yeah.
work.
woo, 4,300 people died, but we did it, guys. Let's take tomorrow off.
Come
Yeah.
on, Pharaoh,
Yeah. But
kill them all.
but you're right.
Yeah.
I mean, they all had like some sort of religious
Meaning.
aspect to it. Yeah, meaning, some
That's-
sort of
yeah.
a deeper meaning to it. Because people didn't live there. I mean, why would you build something if...
Yeah,
if
no one lived in a pyramid.
Pyramid.
Maybe not. I don't
It's
know.
like, oh no.
It was a
well,
tomb. I thought they were tombs.
And in Egypt, for the...
Yeah.
Did they have kings? I don't know what they
But it
were.
was still
Pharaohs.
some
Pharaohs.
type of religion connection to it. Their
Mm.
faith was connected to
Yeah.
the building.
That's where you go live forever.
In Mexico, it was basically a church.
Is it?
That's what they were building, right? Like
Churches?
a temple to... their
I'm not
god
sure.
or
Yeah, and they were
something.
like cutting their hearts out.
I know they would
Yeah.
make a lot of sacrifices down there.
Yeah, so I guess that's what it was.
In the
but-
Aztec world.
But they had multiple gods. It was like the moon god, sun god,
Yeah, it
rain
made
god.
much
So
more
it's like,
sense.
hey, we got to cut his heart out and give it to somebody to bite it, or the sun won't come out tomorrow.
It's like, crap,
Shit.
crap, we gotta...
Fuck, we
oh,
gotta kill
fuck.
this guy.
Everybody had more faith back then.
Man, I don't
Now
know.
nobody goes to church.
I don't know, but dude, if I was a chick back then, I would not keep my virginity. I'm like, fuck that. I'm giving it up.
They're gonna kill me if
yeah,
I do.
yeah, exactly. Say, sorry, not a virgin. No, I thought that was kind of interesting because back then, everybody lived like in these weird huts or whatever, or wherever is it they live, like a hut condo or I don't know. But
Tippy.
yeah, that would eventually collapse. But that's bad. I'm gonna have to take that out. Huh? Anyway, but they built this monument, and people would die. I mean, people died, trying
Yeah,
to try to
of
build
course.
these structures and stuff. And what's interesting is that they're still standing now,
Mhm.
and they survived all this time, all this weathering and all that. Now that's some
Yeah.
good construction you got there.
Yeah. Could you imagine calling in sick back then?
Oh,
Hey, I don't
sorry.
want to stack stones today.
Yeah.
I'm
like,
not
oh,
feeling
Off,
good.
off with his head.
Like, oh God, we're just doing this just so we can sacrifice virgins. Oh, that's not what you
Yeah.
do with them.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Hey,
Yeah.
boss, I'm not feeling good. I need a half day off.
Oh, today we're gonna cut your heart out.
Yeah.
Whew, glad I called in sick. Sorry, it's gonna have to be Jose. Jose, you know, to cut the new
Moses.
guy. Cut the new guy's heart out. All right,
Good
guys.
stuff.
Well,
Good stuff.
let's go ahead and wrap it up for today because